Hi everyone, this is Hannah with Dana Girls Designs, and I wanted to show you how to use some of your scraps, whether you're making books. A lot of times if you're making a scrapbook album or a junk journal, there's going to be pieces that are left over. I just finished a project where I was making 50 mini junk journals. They were 3.5 by 3.5 with a 7/8 inch spine, and I do have some of those journals listed on my store as well. But I customized it up a little bit for a customer, and she wanted 50 of those, so I had made some for her, and I had a lot of these little strips left over. So I wanted to show you something that you can make with these. Now this paper, I've got some plain white paper, I've also got some coffee stained paper, and and you can mix and match, however you want it to do it. I do have some other paper mixed in as well. This is some watercolor 300 series paper. It's real nice and sturdy, and you can actually use this to make a teeny tiny little little junk journal. Fold it over, score it, and make some little teeny tiny signatures, which would be really cute. For this video so far, I'm just going to show you just kind of some easy, almost like little teeny tiny one signature junk journals or inserts. It's embellishments really that you can put inside your junk journal or scrapbook album. And what I have done with a lot of these scraps, I will actually take them, and this I think is about 8.5 inches. I just cut it off of printer paper that I had tea stained, and so I've taken 2 of them. It's on the width, I'm not sure. Let me see here. So the width is a little over 1 1/4, and by 8.5. And so I'm just taking it, folded that in half, and then I'm going to just fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again. Okay. And since all of these are together on this side, this is going to be the middle of my booklet here. And then this other, where it's kind of gathered, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut to where all the pages are open. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the fun thing that I like about making junk journals. Imperfection is key pretty much, and it's just I guess it's just the richness of it. It doesn't have to be perfect. And so this is a little booklet, and what I normally do with these, I will take my sewing machine and I'll actually just run some thread in the middle there. You could also take take an awl or something, punch some holes, take some waxed linen, and and sew in the middle. And I think probably for this project, since I don't feel like getting out my sewing machine, I think I'll probably actually do that. But I do have to find my stuff here. Okay, yeah, I still had everything in a little bag because I just finished that book project. Okay, let's see here. Now for me, I do just kind of eyeball it. That's kind of what I do. I'm just going to poke 2 holes. And I just kind of measure. I want to make sure that they'll be about evenly distributed. You know. Let's see, actually I think I'll make 3 holes. Let's see here, about the middle of the book. And I'm just taking this oversized thumbtack or push pin, whatever it's called, and that's how I'm just kind of poking my hole, just to get through all the papers. I don't have an awl per se. If you wanted to use that to where you wouldn't have as I guess such of a big hole, you can do that. Now this one I didn't poke it through as much, so it's a smaller hole. And then 2, what I do after I've you know, sewn it, then I come back and I may add a little bit of glue to kind of close it up a little bit so that it's, you know, not so big. Okay. Alright, so I've got that. And I actually do already have this threaded from whenever I was working on finishing up those books. So you start in the middle here. And I'm actually going to leave a little excess because I like to use it as like a little, I guess like a little bookmark, you know. So, and then you just kind of want to make sure I'm in the screen here. Sometimes it's easy to get carried away. Okay, so see, I'm up at the top here. Now I'm going to go straight to the bottom and just come out through the cover here. And I'm going to go in the center and come up through here. And then this is where I'm just going to tie it off. Now on my other books that I've done, what I have done is whenever I sew them through the sewing machine, a lot of times I will add some washi tape over it and then sew it. That way, just to add some more, I guess, stability to the paper itself. Because sometimes running paper through a sewing machine, it can tear it up. Okay, so I've got it sewed. You can leave it like this. I like to ink mine up a little bit. I've got Tim Holtz Vintage Photo. I hear children outside playing and I keep thinking it's my kids, but my kids are not here today. My husband had to work, and My kids, I thought I'd take them. There's a place up the road where you can take your kids to. It's like a little play center, and you just you pay by the hour, and it's a really neat place. The kids just love it. And I'm going to just do each individual page. That way each page is, has some distressing to it, kind of an aged look to it. This is so, it's so relaxing. I love it when I have time to get into my crafts and just kind of do some things. It seems like it's almost impossible for me to find time to do stuff, even just stuff as simple as this. I mean, you can't get too much easier than this. But I do enjoy it whenever I can get into it, and to be able to do this, I do have my store on eBay and Amazon, and I spend a lot of time on that, just with running the business side of things. And sometimes, I miss the creative side, of making things. So I'm trying to carve out some time to do that, because it is really important to do that. Because if you don't take some time to have fun, even with something that you love, you can reach burnout. And that seems to happen a lot, with life just being so fast and just going through the motions. It seems to take everything you've got these days, just try to slow down. Take a deep breath, take each moment, at a time. So it is nice to be able to do this. My goal is to try and grow the scrapbooking business to where I can just be doing that. Because in addition to the scrapbooking business, I also have a part-time insurance job where I'm a customer service / sales rep, and I do a lot of the commercial insurance, for various businesses, in the area here in Texas, and which that's fun too. I really do enjoy that. But there's nothing like owning your own business. There is some flexibility to it. And then also my daughter, she loves to scrapbook, and so it's fun for us to be able to do some things together. And that's what I guess my dream is, hoping to continue to grow this business so that as she gets older, it'll be something that she and I can do together. And it's, I guess as a parent, you want that for your child if it's what they want, and just have a common interest. you know, something that each of y'all can look forward to doing together each day. And you know, and so far, you know, right now, you know, she loves it. Okay, let's see here. Now, usually what I'll do, if I'm just keeping this simple, a lot of times what I'll do, I'll stamp an image on the front. Sometimes I will emboss it, or sometimes I'll just kind of leave it, you know, just stamped. So let me see here. I'm still trying to get my craft room organized. I do have a lot of stuff. I'm not going to lie, I have a lot of stuff. And I guess with just selling stuff, you know, I buy and resell stuff. I put a lot of kits together. That seems to sell probably more than anything. People love kits. I love kits. I love to buy stuff, you know, buy a kit that's got the paper, you know, the flowers, the seam binding, ink, stamps, you know, sequins, glitter, embossing powder. I love to buy something that just has kind of everything in there. Let's see, it's summertime. I've got, this is a vintage stamp. It's a 1988 stamp. It's got some seashells on it. But I'm just, I don't have enough room for all of it, so I'm just going to ink up one of these seashells and then just kind of put it in the middle here. So, and I'll tell you what my favorite stamp is. Let's see here. Now this, as you can see, it has definitely seen better days. And it was held together pretty good until my son came in here and just tore it off. So I have to keep my stuff out of reach. This is, well, it says Incredible. I don't even know where I bought it. I don't even, it's terracotta. It's, I love it because it's the perfect blend between, you know, a red, a orange, a brown, like a rust color. And I use this in all of my junk journals. I just love the color. Okay, looks like I've got it on some. Let's see here. Let's see, I'm not sure if I got it on the whole thing or not, but we'll test it out and see. I ended up getting ink on the other. Oh well. Let's see here. Might even just kind of... just kind of use that to kind of add more color, you know, around the edges. Okay. So this is like my favorite stamp. Either this one's my favorite. My next favorite is the vintage photo by Tim Holtz. Those two are my favorite. And but yeah, so sometimes I just leave this like it is. You know, if you're doing you know, a summer themed or, you know, beach themed junk journal, you can just slip this in there in one of the little tuck spots. And And you know, and you can do so much with this book. You can leave it as just something, you know, to write in. You could even take, you know, you could cut a little strip of this down, and you can just add a little glue along the sides to make a little pocket. See, that would be cute too. In fact, we'll just try it. Alright, let's see here. It is fun working with like little miniature stuff. I just love it. Trying to get it to kind of line up a little bit here. Okay. Let me cut this down a little bit. Let's see, is that going to do better here? Cut it down a little bit more so that way, because it doesn't have to go all the way out to the edge. Yeah, see? Yeah, it'll still close. Okay. Alright. Just make a little pocket here. Okay, let me go get my glue. And for my junk journals, I use Aleene's tacky glue. I like it. You know, with the scrapbook albums, you know, I started out using score tape, and that's what I initially used for my scrapbook albums. I made a lot of mini albums, you know, but over time, with using the score tape, I'm just going to need just a teeny bit of glue. It loses its stickiness, and then your stuff will just, it'll just fall apart. But if you use the wet glue, it holds so much better over time. And so I've just kind of gone to this. This is kind of my thing I'm using. Just, you know, just over time, you know, you try new things. You know, different things work for different people depending on what your projects are, you know, what you're actually making. Okay. Okay, so I got that glued. Alright. Alright, now I'm going to put a little bit more of this on here and just kind of ink it up on the edge here. Give a little pop of color. Okay. You know, just kind of add a little aging on there. And also with our scraps. Now this is my scrap drawer. And when I say scrap, it is literally scrap. There are bits and pieces of different things. This was some little ribbon bookmarks I put together to go in some junk journals. You know, I layered some lace, some, I think it's like, oh, I didn't forget. I don't know if it's organza, but it was just a little, mainly for color, the dusty rose color. And then took some of this trim and then did a zigzag stitch on my sewing machine. Now this book is so teeny tiny that I think, let's see, I might have something that's teeny tiny. Who knows? I do have just little random strips of stuff if I can find it. A lot of times when I'm working on a project, you know, I just use just random stuff, you know, and then, you know, and I save these little bits, you know, here's a bigger piece, and then I just saved the end of that. And let's see, I may... Alright, where'd my book go? Here we go. I don't know, I kind of want a little color. Let's see here. Alright, let's see. Now this, some different color. It's pretty. It's not too big. It does add some color, you know. So I think we'll just add it. And these also make great gifts. A lot of times whenever I, you know, when people buy something from me, I'll put in some little, you know, a little gift, you know, just as a way to say thank you. You know, because I really do appreciate the orders that come in. You know, because it's getting me, you know, one step closer, you know, to my dream coming true, where I can, that's all that I, you know, do is just the scrapbooking business, and then focus on my kids. And, you know, because with the scrapbooking, it is pretty flexible. You know, it's not, you know, I don't have to run the job from 9 to 5, you know. You know, so there's some flexibility in it, which is really nice. Alright, now we're going to do something else here to put in like a little book to go inside the little pocket. And I'm just going to do a little skinny book, actually. And what I'm going to do, see, I folded it here, and then I'm just going to fold it back. I think, let me see, try to figure out this. Well, actually, I think we can just keep going at it like this, actually. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, and let me cut this. And see, on this one, I would take it and just add a little washi tape to kind of cover over the center here to add some more stability, and then run it through my sewing machine. And you could do a zigzag stitch. Normally I just do a straight stitch, just straight down the middle, and then just tie off the ends. And sometimes I'll even leave a little long and just fold it up through the middle, you know, kind of like with that, you know, that way, just to have a little something in there. So yeah, and you can ink that up and then just put that right in there. See? It's so cute. There's tons of things that you can do with the little scraps that you have. You know, I have tons of these scraps here that I'm going to be using up. In fact, you know, unless I figure out something to use with the strips of watercolor paper and heavyweight cardstock that I have left over, I'm probably just going to make some little teeny tiny junk journals with signatures in it. And that's going to be pretty fun, actually. Let's see here. For making an actual junk journal with the signatures, I do like to be a little bit more precise on my you know, measuring and everything, just because, you know, I want the end result to look nice. Something like this, it doesn't matter if the edges are straight, but if you're going to make a book with a cover, I mean, me personally, I wouldn't want, you know, it to end up being crooked or something. Alright, so let's see here. I'm trying to see on these pages. They end up being about like this. Just trying to kind of measure it a little bit. Okay, so I'm probably going to go out to a 1.5. 1.5. Probably just a 1/2 inch spine, I think. Well, no, I think well, I'm trying to think. Yeah, probably a 1/2 inch spine, that way to kind of space them out a little bit. So that way, you know, depending on what you add on your pages, you know, even with adding that lace, see, that adds, you know, so you start adding stuff, you want, you know, you want some room for expansion. So, alright, so 2 inches, 1/2 inch, right? Let's see, where am I at? I done forgot where I was measuring at. Okay, it's a 1.5, and then we're going to do a 1/2 inch spine, and then I'm going to do another. Gotta move out this thing here. I'm not even in the camera, am I? Okay. Alright, so let's start over so you can see where I'm at here. So I just took this book because I know that when I fold all the pages together, this is going to be the width. And I'm just, you know, I'm just going to keep it easy. So it's like almost 1.5 inches, almost. So I'm going to go ahead and make it 1.5 inches. That's going to be my spine, I mean not the spine, but the front cover. And then, you know, you can see with adding some stuff, it's going to get a little thick. So I'm going to do a 1/2 inch spine. That way I can have 2 signatures. Okay, so 1.5, 1/2 inch spine. Then we're going to do another 1.5. So a total of 3.5 inches. So that's going to be our cover. Now, you may actually have a scoreboard. I use this as a scoreboard just to keep it easy so I don't have a bunch of different things. Okay, so 1.5. And then I'm going to, let me see which is the inside and outside of this book. Okay. Alright, so 1.5, and I'm going to go ahead and score it. Okay, and we'll flip it over and go 1.5. Okay, and score it. And there you go. You've got your little miniature book. See? And then you get 2 of these in here, and see, that's going to fit in there just perfect. So see, that'd be just plumb cute. Alright, so I took 2 of these, Alright, so take 2 of these. I'm going to go ahead and just fold them in half. Keep thinking it's going to rain outside. They've been saying it was going to rain all week long, and we finally did get a little bit of rain yesterday for not very long. It rained a little bit in the afternoon, and that was it. Alright, let's see, did I have some of that thread left over? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and thread that. Alright, let's see here. Here's the middle of my book here. I probably better line it up with this here. Okay. Surprisingly, though, this year we haven't had, I mean, now we're not into September yet. September seems to be bad. But, you know, hurricane season starts June 1st and goes to November 1st. And as an insurance person, you know that because you know, you try to you know, prepare people for the weather. You know, tell them, hey, better get some flood insurance, or, you know, make sure you got wind coverage. So just to help protect them, you know, for hurricane. And see, last year we had Hurricane Harvey that came through. And, I mean, it actually hit, it really didn't hit us. It hit, oh, where was that? Rockport, I think. Rockport. But what affected us was the rain. It rained 5 days straight. And it was horrible. We had water in our garage. People had water in their house. And with it being so much rain, they had to let out the dams. And when they did that, because the creeks and the rivers already had so much water when they let out the dams, it overflowed. There was so much flooding. Homes that had never flooded before flooded. And it was really sad. You know, because homes that were not really considered flood areas, they flooded, and so those people didn't have flood insurance. And so I'm just hoping we can hold off for, what, 2 more months? September to November, 2 more months without anything. Just hoping, because it, you know, the aftermath of something like that is just, it's horrible. You know, these tropical storms, natural disasters. I Oh, you know what? I wasn't thinking. I actually made a boo-boo. I was supposed to sew these into the... I wasn't thinking. Well, I guess because this one, I had already sewed it because I didn't think I was going to do this. So, but that's a quick fix. I've made these boo-boos before. Let's see, let me get my needle. And I'll take out where I've made a little knot here. Okay. I hope I'm staying in frame. Sometimes I kind of get carried away, and but I want you to be able to see it. I'm actually looking forward to Labor Day weekend. This is nice. I've enjoyed it so far, and I'm gonna be going to pick my kids up in a little bit. I don't want them staying gone all day. I kind of miss them. It gets quiet when you're used to your 2-year-old and your 5-year-old running around the house, you know, hollering, carrying on, squealing, playing, and then there's no noise. You know, because obviously I don't go running around the house squealing and hollering when I'm here by myself. Alright, so yeah, I'm just untying these so that way we can sew them. I'm gonna show you how to sew them. Looks like this one's kind of unraveling here. Alright, yeah, we're gonna make our holes and sew it into our little books here. Okay, so let's make our holes. Alright. Now there are ways, you know, to I guess get it more precise. In fact, when I was doing the little 3.5 by 3.5 books, this is what I made to make sure that, you know, all your holes and everything lines up. And now with this little book, I'm not really too concerned about it. I mean, if I was making it for a customer or something, I would create something, you know, a little teeny tiny, you know, thing. In fact, I guess we could go ahead and do that. Just, you know, just in case you're watching and you're wondering how to do this, I'll go ahead and cut it up. So what I do, here's my spine. And I'm going to take okay. Alright. So it's the same height, same width. At least I think it is. Let me see. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, it looks to be. Okay. Alright, let me find my pen. Okay. Alright, so we're going to have 2 signatures. Okay. Now I've already got my holes punched in these little books, so just want to kind of make sure, since I've already got my holes you know, poked in here, I just want to make sure that I'm going to have it lined up right. Now, if you hadn't already, I guess if I knew I was going to be making this little teeny tiny junk journal, then I would have, and I'm actually, just to help me so I keep the dots, I'm going to make some little dots right here, just so I know where they're at. And then I'm going to take this and kind of figure out, you know, okay, where are my signatures going to go? If I put one, let me scoot over so I can be more in the camera. Okay, so I got a signature here and here. That seems like it'll line up pretty good. And you can actually take a ruler if you're wanting to be more precise. Precise. Alright, let's see here. So I'm just going to poke a hole. Let me see if this will poke through here. Okay, yeah, it did. Okay. Yeah, okay, so, and what I will do, I'm going to mark top, because I measured it like that with the top of this, the insert being up here, so, because it does make a difference. It does make a difference. Alright, so I'm going to line this in my little book here. Okay. Making sure it fits good. Okay, and I'm going to just take my pen and go in these little dots. Alright, let's see. It made the indentions, it just didn't make the actual dots. So, okay. Alright, so now I'm going to take and just poke my little holes. Try not to poke such big holes. Okay, yeah, trying to. Okay. Alright, so alright, let me see something here. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go through the middle and into the middle hole in the book here. And I'm actually just taking that thread that was already sewn in the book, because you know, I know it's enough to work with. I don't have to cut out some new. I mean, if you want to, you can. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to tie that off. You want to make sure it's good and tight. Did I get that in there? No. Let's see. Yeah, I think for Labor Day, I think we're just gonna chill. Just relax, you know. See, my daughter's in kindergarten, and it's kind of taken her a little bit to get used to it. It's wanting to make sure I got this lined up right. Let's see, because I can tell. Okay, so this is the top, because I can tell that I didn't have it measured up exactly, and that's because I was eyeballing it. But yeah, she started school, and we get up at 7 in the mornings, which we normally don't get up at 7 in the mornings. It's, you know, 8-ish. and you know, in which I wanted to try to, you know, like the week before, you know, kind of start getting us used to it. But I had I guess it was a gallbladder attack. They really don't know for sure, but that's what they were suggesting it was. But, you know, then when I had an ultrasound, they didn't know. So, so I was in a pretty good bit of pain, you know, right before all this happened. And, you know, I wasn't sleeping good. I was just in a lot of pain, and so I thought, well, there ain't no way I'm going to be waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning doing this. So we kind of got off to a rocky start with school starting and everything. It's just kind of been one thing after the other. But my daughter, she is loving school. She is it. She does get tired. She does, because, again, we're not used to getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, so I told her, I said, well, you get to sleep in this weekend. We don't have nowhere to go. So she's really excited about that. So, but yeah, so we've got our little signature sewn in here. You open it up, and then, see, and then got our second book here. And so you can embellish it. You know, there's so many different ways. You can put some fabric on it, you can stamp it, you know, just build layers. Basically what you would do on a full size, you just bring it down to scale to something, you know, this teeny tiny. Because this is 1.5 by 1.5, I think. No, it's 2 inches by 1.5. I don't know, let's measure it. I didn't forgot. So our little book is 1.5 by, not quite 1.5. It's 1 3/8, and then our spine is a 1/2 inch. So see, this is so cute, and you can put this in your junk journal, in your mini album, you know, as a gift to a client. They would love this. This is cute. You know, I think we all love teeny tiny stuff. So, but hopefully this inspired you. You know, just with those, you know, pieces of scraps that you're wondering, what should I do with it? The possibilities are endless, and I hope that I was of some help to you to show some different things that you can make, you know, with your scraps. And this is, of course, more geared toward junk journaling, but you could even just take this and we didn't have to sew signatures in. You could take it, and this could be a mini album, and you can do your hidden hinge and put in your inserts. So the possibilities are endless. And if you would like for me to show you some more videos on some different things that you would like to make with your scraps, feel free to post a comment below, and I'll be more than happy to do that for you. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye.